Welcome to Big Red Leads. I'm Big Red, getting you and your business back to the black. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone is doing well out there, chasing your dreams, pursuing your vision, in pursuit of everything that is abundantly clear in your pathway and going after the gusto. What is the one thing, however, that impedes us? What is the one thing that is, if it stays with you too long, can become a real illness and a detriment to you and the people who love you? What is the one thing that stops, halts, even in some cases maybe a slight yield, puts a yield on everything that you might have going on, whether it be professionally, family-wise, personal happiness, growth, development, just your journey in life? What is the one thing that stops most people from real achievement? Like, when I say real achievement, I'm not talking about like your trophies and the things that aren't necessarily tangible items. I'm not talking about materialistic things. I'm talking about the things that you truly desire and want for your life. What is that one thing? What is the thing that holds us back? And there are so many layers to this that I don't want to scare you, but I want you to understand the reality of the world that you live in. Please understand this. There are actual very small group of people on the same planet as you who want all of us to go sit down. Don't pursue your dreams. They want you to work and work and work. Do what needs to be done at their bidding. There's a very small group. We're not going to get deep into this. This is not some conspiracy theory thing. Understand what a conspiracy theory is and understand the difference between the conspiracy. Now, you look it up yourself. I'm not getting into that. But what we are talking about is we've heard some of these people on television, any news, conferences they may have been at, say some of the most reckless things that go against every being on the planet, unless you're in the circle, that speak to what we're talking about. And that one thing is fear. There are people who are pushing fear amongst anything else. And what's behind it is a bunch of political nonsense that ties you into and could easily handicap and halter and have people freezing and stopping pursuing anything worthwhile in their own lives. Now, I'm not one to tell people what to do or how to do it. Here's the thing. You can work a job your entire life and be happy with where you are. But there's also people out here who are planning your demise, planning your family's demise, because they don't want you here anymore. The world is built. For the most part, the world is built. So why do we need all these people? And whenever you hear the term, the planet is overpopulated by anybody on the news, I don't care who they are, you need to tell them to have a whole seat. Sit the hell down and shut the hell up. Because it's not, no. It's not overpopulated. But as a matter of fact, let's just keep it a buck. The United States alone, just in waste, we're talking food. We're talking over 100 billion pounds of food every year wasted. So, such programs and organizations as like Feed America and things like that, and helping the homeless, and no child should be starving and all that. Like, that's a real thing. Like there are There are pockets on the planet where people don't have food. So I want you to think about that. We're talking tons. Over 100 million of food pounds wasted just by the United States alone. So, how do you control a large population of people? Divide and conquer, separate, create ideologies that disalign with the majority. You create organizations that cause an uproar. You create division amongst men and women. You create a lack of understanding of humanity to its core. You create a bunch of little things, so you're getting hit from multiple directions that keeps you in a place of not knowing where my future lies for my children, not knowing where my future lies for my family, my legacy, not knowing like what it's going to look like in the sense of what if I keep pursuing my dream or my vision that I have for my life, where will I be at and what does it look like if I don't control, if I'm not making my own food, if I'm not producing and growing my own food, if I don't know where I'm going to be working in 4 years, 5 years, if they keep pushing the scare tactic along the lines of, there could be some magical virus that just suddenly appeared and, it's killing another plague or a, pandemic, if you will, that is just going to take us out. Not considering the fact that the human body is the most perfect thing on the planet if you take care of it. So, now that we've gotten the majority of the good out of the way, do you understand that if you stay with that understanding or lack of understanding of why all these things are being pushed to keep people in a place of fear and what comes with that? If someone is pushing fear, that means they can pretty much control your actions. I mean, tell me if you disagree. If I had enough wherewithal and quote unquote power to move heads of state, to move quote unquote governments to my will, bend the knee and do what I tell them to do, whether it's through a scare tactic, whether it's through manipulation of funds and goods and services, and you're talking export, import, you're talking about, fair trade and things of that nature, or the possibility of I could easily manipulate this country to fighting with this country, and next thing you know, you got a war going on, and I benefit on both sides. No matter who wins, I win. If I had that type of power, would I abuse it? See, understand, like, everything you see is programmed. So, this goes back to why anxiety and depression are at all-time highs. Why is that? Well, we just came through a couple years of nonsense. Everybody, quote unquote, being the majority of us, being sheltered and told what we can do, what we can't do, and you need to be worried about this. You can't go see your family. You can't hug your loved ones, your elders in your family. You can't spend any time with them because you could possibly get them sick. Now, we all just went through that. I feel some type of way about young people because they have no clue. There are the exceptions to the rule, of course, but they have no clue. And me being old enough to speak about things that we went through as a nation, as we went through as a human being on the planet, as my fellow Earthlings, if you will. Some of the things we've gone through were simply tests. Some of the things that have been pushed upon the world, as far as the people, the human beings living on it, have been put to the test. These were all tests to see if we can get this amount of people to not function and fight against what is possibly coming. Now, no matter how you slice it, that will put fear into a big chunk of people. So you're going to do what you're told. Now, free thinking is, it's more than just having your own individual thought. Free thinking doesn't mean that you can't align with a group of people who think or speak similarly, and it doesn't mean that you can't support a group or an organization. The reason I don't join organizations is because it has a tendency to push back on the individualism. Now, if the people around me are doing well, I'm winning. I'm doing well. And I'm not intimidated by that, nor should you. The people around you should be a motivation, if you will, to push for your dreams, push for your vision that you have for your life, push for the plan that you've put in place, and no matter what's going on in the rest of the world, you're going to pursue it. The sad part is, most of us don't. We don't even think about it like that. We don't look at it like that. Understand that fear is one of the most powerful tools, especially if it's really weaponized. Like it's a different conversation if we're talking about, in a moment I'm out with my woman or my children, and the situation gets sketchy. Me, as a natural protector of those who are around me, those who I love and care for, like, I'm going to do everything I can to get them out of that situation, away from this unsafe environment. This is what we try to do. That's a natural instinct, to protect those, especially those you care about. But peddling fear, those who peddle fear, those who peddle controversy, understand there's a reason why more and more people, just within the past, I'd say 5 to 10 years, there's more people who have a cell phone than have a pen and pad. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that I'm against technology. Hell, I'm using technology right now, talking to you. But I want you to think about that. If you're constantly on a device, looking at a screen, and you don't spend any time within nature, or understanding how nature moves, how nature has a way of balancing itself out, a lot of the things that we talk about that are quote-unquote global killers, you got your environment. Like it's a real thing. Like, temperatures are rising. Things are going on the planet. Global warming is a real thing. However, there's always a political agenda behind it, because most people are trying to get paid for trauma. There's an opportunity here. An opportunity for what? And you've heard that from some of these quote-unquote world leaders say there's an opportunity. An opportunity to do what? If you've heard that from a world leader, there's some shady nonsense behind it. And guess what? They're pushing fear. The beautiful thing about my grandfather's generation is, and those of you out there around the same age, if your grandparents are still alive, just talk to them and ask them about some of the real things that they had to go through, like fighting through certain things that happened in society that were pushed by others who said the same thing. There's an opportunity here for, what's the opportunity for? You're pushing fear. You have to listen beyond the message when you hear this on your television broadcast or your quote unquote videos across the globe. Because the news we get here in the States is way different than, let's say, overseas in Europe. The news is way different than what you get in parts of Africa. It's way different than in South America. Trust and believe me when I say this. If you're watching only news coming from the U.S., and understand a lot of these people that we're talking about that have this type of influence to infect the world with nothing more than fear and propaganda and nonsense to push their agendas on the backside, distracting you on a continuous basis with nonsense that has nothing to do with your life, nothing to do with what you have to do as a human being, looking out for the next human being, looking out for the people that you care for. There is a real agenda going on, and all of this is being pushed by fear. What do you have to be scared of? If you believe in God, I don't care what faith it is, religion, whatever. If you believe in something higher than yourself, if you're an atheist, you're an atheist. I'm not mad at them either. But understand this. There are a lot of quote unquote agendas at play when it comes to why you fear what you fear. Why is your anxiety through the roof? Why all of a sudden do you have to medicate yourself because you can't be alone? Not realizing that if you really think about it, a lot of people are going through the same thing. Now, I'm not sitting up here pushing against like mental health and things of that nature. That's not what we're talking about. Somebody is constantly bombarding you with nonsense on the internet that is pushing you in a direction that goes against what at some point in your life you had nothing to do with, or you weren't even motivated by the politics behind it. It just makes sense to be a good human being. How about that? To be kind to your fellow man. You got more women pushing against men and men pushing against, like, that's a real agenda. If we're not getting together and procreating, standing by the family, then what are we doing? What are we doing? So what is it that you have as far as what it comes to your life that pushes beyond that and doesn't allow fear to overtake you? Do you believe in a higher power? Do you believe in God? Do you believe in human beings are actually pretty good at heart? Most of us. 99.9% of us. And if you think for 1 second that these people are going to let up off the gas and the possibility of something happening again that quote unquote shuts the world down again, even for a brief moment, you think that that's not possible again? You're sadly mistaken. Now, I'm saying that not to put fear in your heart, but I'm saying that so that you understand that you have to push for what is for you. You have a whole generation of people who do not understand that there are a couple companies that own the majority of all real estate and land on the entire planet. And if you think that's not a real thing, you can look that stuff up yourself. Why are there people buying up so much farmland who are not farmers? If you control the food, you can control the people. If you can control what people are scared of, you can control the people. Be weary of the groupthink. That's when you have infighting amongst the human family. You might not see something a certain way, but guess what? There are plenty of examples across the globe, especially when it comes to communism in other countries and what's being pushed. And this is so deep because there's a war on your thoughts. There's a war on free thinking. There is a war on you as a human being. You have to acknowledge and recognize it for what it is. Doesn't mean you have to give up on what your dreams and goals are. But what it does mean is that you should have some sense of awareness, consciousness. And they have tainted the word woke because what it simply means is you've awoken to the nonsense that you've been playing into your entire life because that's what you've been told to do. I'm going to work this job that I hate, not pursue my dreams and goals, not pursue or look, even trying to discover the vision that I have set for my life because I have to work all the time and I have to deal with the reality of I have bills. If money wasn't a thing, would you stress or live fear to fear checks? What if money's not a thing? You have to go to the government for every single thing that you need. How would that work out for you? You could speak to some of the people who've lived in those type of environments, and I guarantee you this: they're not going to tell you anything good about it. Liberty is limited freedom. Freedom is freedom. There is a war on your mind, or for your mind. And fear is the ammunition. I'm going to leave this here. I want you to really think about what's really going on around you. Think about the environments that you're in, whether they're good, bad, or just maybe where you don't want to be. What type of obstacles do you have to overcome just to get out of that environment and then play in a new playground? What set of circumstances come with that new one? What set of circumstances come with the one if you advance a little bit further? Are there gatekeepers that keep you from moving forward, if you will? None of this is to scare you, but this should come on. Should spark that brain of yours to think just for a moment. That's why we've done a few videos on distractions. Distractions that keep you from that career, that pursuit of your business, that pursuit of entrepreneurship, that pursuit of something bigger than you. Because everything coming at you from different directions is nothing more than distractions. You know, what about a few billionaires who jumped in a tube and went to go see the Titanic? Who gives a damn? They spent days on the news talking about that. Do you think that's not a distraction? You ought to check in to see what policies got passed during that time and that type of coverage. Trump getting arrested. Take a look at that. Like, seriously. What type of policies passed when these distractions were going on? The world is a stage. We're all playing our roles in the play. Some of us just need to stop acting. Love you all. Have a great day. Remember what I said. I said it. I know what I said when I said it, because I said it. You understand what I'm saying? The war is for your mind. Put down the phones for a few minutes. Put down the tablets for a little bit. Stay off the computer for a little bit. Step away. Can you grow your own food? Can you protect your family if money wasn't a necessity? Love y'all. Peace.